dialed 911. She was crying.
Do you want to start CPR if I help you?
Yeah, I could do that. He's just laying here with his mouth open.
She said her husband wasn't moving. She said she didn't know what happened. First responders arrived within minutes. They rushed inside. Harold Allen, 52 years old, was lying on the floor of his own home. He was already gone, and for the next 9 months, everyone believed it was simply his heart. A man with health problems, a tragic but natural death. They were wrong. What actually happened inside that house involved months of planning, thousands of secret text messages, multiple poisons, and a root beer float. This is the story of Harold Allen and the two people who decided his life was worth less than an insurance payout. By every account, Harold was the kind of man who made people feel good just by being around him. He taught himself guitar, played harmonica, rode a Harley-Davidson through the back roads of southern Indiana on weekends. He had been married twice before. Both ended in divorce. He had no children. Then 2019 arrived. Harold decided to attend his 30th high school reunion in Austin, Indiana. It was there, across a crowded room, that he spotted a woman he barely knew from school. Her name was Marsha Buxton. They had never spoken much as teenagers, but that night, something was different. They talked. They laughed. They exchanged numbers. Within months, they were dating. Within 2 years, and on a warm day in July 2021, Harold Allen finally had the family he had always wanted. He married Marsha, and when Marsha's daughter, Ashley, moved in with her 5-year-old daughter, Harold welcomed them without hesitation. He had never been a father, but now he got to be called Grandpa. Here is where this story takes a turn that nobody could have predicted. 9 months after Harold's death, Marsha was on vacation in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Beautiful mountain town, fall colors, hiking trails. While she slept 350 miles away, 2 men broke into her home, 4:30 in the morning. They moved through the house like they knew exactly where to go. They opened her safe. They went through her jewelry. They took guns, and they knew the code to the safe. Marsha woke up to a notification on her phone. Her new security system had detected movement. She watched the footage on her phone and recognized one of the men immediately. His name was Stephen White, Ashley's best friend. Police found Stephen White at his mother's nearby home within hours. When they showed him the security camera screenshot, he couldn't deny it. He admitted to the burglary, but then he said something else, something that changed everything. Stephen White told investigators that Marsha Allen had murdered her husband Harold by poisoning his root beer float. He said he knew this because Ashley had told him. He even knew the specific details of how it was made. The detective in that room said he had been on the job 20 years and had never seen anything like what was about to unfold. Investigators pulled Harold's preserved blood sample and tested it for something they had never thought to check the first time: poison. The results came back. Pong pong seeds. They come from a tree that grows naturally in Southeast Asia and parts of South Asia. That tree has a common local nickname, the suicide tree. The seeds contain a compound so toxic that a single one, if properly prepared, can stop a human heart. Ashley ordered them on eBay. Once the seeds arrived, the 2 women got to work. They ground them up, mixed them into brownie batter, added walnuts to mask the bitter taste, and then Marsha served Harold the brownies. As he ate, they texted each other. Ashley wrote, "How's it going, LOL?" Marsha sent back a photo of a half-eaten brownie. Ashley replied, "Let me know when it's gone, LOL." Laughing emojis, smiley faces. As a man ate food laced with poison, his wife and stepdaughter were celebrating. Harold survived the brownies, so they tried again. This time, water hemlock, another lethal plant, this one native to North America, and one of the most violently toxic plants on the continent. Investigators believe Marsha and Ashley mixed it into Harold's chili, into his drinks, into a margarita she made him one evening. Harold kept getting sick, kept going to the emergency room. kept coming home to the woman who was trying to kill him. At one point, in the middle of the night, Marsha sent Ashley a text that investigators say stopped them cold when they read it. She wrote, "I am irritated and cannot sleep peacefully. I need this to be over. He was not dying fast enough. The plants weren't working reliably enough." So they made a decision. They switched to chemistry. Ethylene glycol, the primary active ingredient in automotive antifreeze. They ordered it online. You cannot smell ethylene glycol. You cannot see it. It has no color. It has a faint sweetness, almost pleasant. And if you mix it into something already cold and sweet, a drink, a dessert a person would consume, a lethal dose, and feel nothing unusual until their organs began to fail. Marsha texted Ashley, "He's all in for root beer floats." Ashley wrote back, "Okie dokie. I'll tell the kids that's what we're doing tonight for dessert." Smiley face. Root beer floats. On the night of December 19th, 2022, Marsha made Harold a root beer float. Ice cream, root beer, and ethylene glycol. He drank it. The next afternoon, an ambulance came to the house. Harold Allen could not be saved. 5 days before Christmas, Peanut was gone. When investigators eventually recovered the text messages between Marsha Allen and her daughter, Ashley, what they found was not a moment of desperation. It was a manual. Nearly 7,000 messages, sent over 3 months, documenting, in their own words, every step of a plot to murder Harold Allen. And it did not start with antifreeze. It started with seeds. Those text messages became the backbone of the entire prosecution. In criminal law, intent is everything. Defense attorneys can argue a single act was impulsive, accidental, or emotionally driven. But 7,000 messages documenting research into poisons, ordering toxic substances, celebrating failed attempts, expressing frustration that the victim was not dying fast enough, that removes every possible defense. The prosecution described this in court as evidence of sustained, deliberate, cold-blooded premeditation. The laughing emojis were particularly damaging. They showed not just intent, but enjoyment. When Marsha returned from vacation, investigators called her in. They were careful. They did not lead with the murder allegation. They asked about the burglary. They asked what was stolen. They discussed Ashley's possible involvement. After all, Ashley had mailed the safe combination to Stephen White. Marsha was cooperative, calm, had answers ready for everything. Then, Detective Clint Burcham told her what Stephen White had said, that she had poisoned Harold. Marsha did not react. No tears, no confusion, no moment of visible shock. She denied it completely and moved on. Detective Burcham stepped out of the room to retrieve paperwork for a phone download. In that window, Marsha picked up her phone and started deleting messages. She did not know that deleted messages can be forensically recovered. Every single text she tried to erase came back. When investigators read through those recovered messages, they found nearly 7,000 texts documenting everything. The pong pong seeds, the brownies, the water hemlock, the chili, the drinks, the margarita, the ethylene glycol, the root beer float, all of it in their own words, with laughing emojis attached. The night after her interview, Marsha returned home. Her parents tried to call her. No answer. They drove to the house. Her car was in the driveway. She wasn't answering the door. They called police. Officers arrived for a welfare check. Marsha Allen was found dead inside her home. She had taken her own life. She left behind a handwritten note. It read, "I did not kill my husband. You win, Ashley." Lieutenant Nicholson later said he did not give the note much weight. He believed it was a final attempt, even in death, to shift the blame onto her daughter, because the evidence told a different story entirely. The morning after Marsha's death, Ashley Jones was brought in for questioning. She had already been arrested in connection with the burglary. Remember, she had mailed the safe combination to Stephen White. Investigators sat down across from her, and within 10 minutes, Ashley changed direction completely. She named her own mother as Harold's killer. She admitted to helping purchase ethylene glycol online. She admitted to the text messages, but she framed her role as that of an obedient daughter, just doing what her mother told her to do. Then, an officer walked into the room with news. Her mother was dead. Ashley received the information and said just 5 words. Prosecutors also uncovered the financial motive in full detail. Harold Allen had $120,000 life insurance policy through his employer. After his death, Marsha had been paying Ashley approximately $1,000 per month. Those payments stopped in July 2023. 2 months later, Ashley sent Stephen White the key and combination to her mother's house. She wanted what she believed she was owed for helping kill her stepfather. In August 2025, Ashley Jones stood before a judge in Jackson County, Indiana. She pleaded guilty to attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The judge looked at her and said, "There is no other word for what you have done except evil. There is no forgiveness from this court." Ashley Jones was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Harold's brother Matthew was in the courtroom that day. Afterwards, he said they finally felt like they got a little bit of the justice Harold deserved. Just a little bit, because Harold is still gone, and no sentence changes that.